They've played every single game on that table, and you haven't played on it.
Yeah.
So I think you should get 10 minutes before, not just before the game, but somewhere where it's, you know, okay for everybody, where you can just jump on there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just get the lighting, just get the run of the table. Do you know what I mean? I think they should give you 10 minutes. I really do.
Actually, that'd be good for the. Sorry, Lee. That'd be good for the fans as well, because you see some players who don't at all hardly look at the fans during the match because they're so focused at their job, etc. But if they came out for a 10-minute warm up, a bit like a knock up in tennis, then they could come over and wave and have a little hello everyone and all of this, and then get on and get used to the run.
I think they did that. They did that at the Masters a couple of years ago. Before every match, both the players had like 15 minutes on there, and it was good because you had the crowd right close by, and then they were talking to me, and it was just nice. It was just nice to see them, you know, messing around.
Do you usually find the transition from the outside tables to the match tables quite easy, Mark, having been on tour for so long?
Well, to be honest with you, this time it was different because the lighting system on table one was brand new. It was totally different. They do these sort of things. You'll turn up and then like the table one, they go, we're trying new lights. And it's just ludicrous. Not even like, well, we're going to try it in the qualifiers. Tell me what you think. No, we're trying new lights. There you go, play on it. It's just, honestly, just sometimes you just think, my God, who is running this sport?
Yeah.
Because you had table two, if you looked at table two live stream, it was bright as anything. You looked on table one live stream, it looked dark. And even Higgins turned around and said, "You went, oh my God, it's so dark compared to the normal streaming table." I just don't get why they change it. I really don't.
Do you use the practice a lot? I mean, obviously, what you noticed as well with the Milton Keynes one was obviously you got the practice tables up on that balcony, and you can hear some of it going on. Do you spend a lot of time on there before you going on, or is that not for you?
Yeah. I always have 15 minutes before every match. And I'm quite a good practice player. I put the hours in, and obviously got to go to every everything. All the boxes have got to be ticked. Otherwise, you know, I'm not in good shape.
Yeah.
As long as the boxes are ticked every time, you know, I've got every chance of doing well. If I go there and get beat first round, then I can take it because everything's been done.
Are you one of these players, Mark, that needs to put that hard work in, needs to put that hours in?
Oh my God, what is going on with my nose? I've got the itchiest nose on the planet.
Need to shave your nostrils.
I know, it's just what it must be. I think there's hairs on it. I could use some to stick on my head. Oh, God. Sorry, what did you say, Lee?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it was putting all the work in, wasn't it? You obviously was he puts the work in.
I was going to say, Mark, are you one of these players that really needs to put the hours in?
Yes.
Maybe not as natural, but you really need to put the hours in.
I'm definitely one of them players. I'm not one of them players that can put his cue down for a month and then pick my cue up again and I've gone ton 90. I'm more likely, oh my God, I can't see a ball for 2 days. I'm just one of them. I'm not naturally gifted in the respect of I can't put my cue down for too long. I mean, the most time I normally have off is maybe a couple of days. If I've been practicing really hard or I've just come back from a tournament, I'll have a couple of days rest my mind, and then I'm back at it again because I don't want to lose the train of thought that I'm on and the good positive stuff, and I don't want to lose that. So a few of the lads tend to put their cue down for a week when they've got 6-7 weeks off. I'm not one of them people. I'm like a 2-day off and then I'm back on it.
Have you got a table in the house, or have you got a club?
No, just at the club, the local snooker club, Stepfields in Whittam. Really lovely club, lovely people, really supportive, always wishing you well. And you can't beat a club like that. They're really, really nice people.
Have you got regular practice partners, Mark? Is there any pros you tend to play with?
No, there's an amateur up there, Sid Wilson. He'll be going to Q school again. He's really good practice, but normally the likes of Ollie Lyons will come for a game. Gerard Green's come over for a game again. Joe Perry, them sort of people. I'll go and play Matthew Selt a couple of times, or he'll come to me. So it's the normal 5 or 6 players I play all the time. Yeah, that's about it really. It's just nice to get a good bit of practice and tuning up all the time.
Yeah, and the game I didn't mention was the 5-3 against Trump that got you through. Really, I mean,
yeah.
Did you prepare any differently for that one? Did you just feel good on the night? How did?
I just think it was one of them things where I'd really nothing to lose. You going in there, everyone's expecting you to lose. Trump's number one. You're gonna get your bum smacked. And I said it before. I said, like, if I'm not on my game, then I'm going to be going home. And fortunate enough, I played solid. I didn't play the best I can play, but he was having a bit of an off day. And when they're having their bit of off day, that's when you've got to capitalise. And I feel as though I did that on the day I capitalised on his mistakes, really. And, a couple of times, I think, in one frame at 3-2, he was 50 odd up and I won it on the black. So them sort of really big frames, you don't normally nick off the big boys. They normally nick them off you.
Yeah.
So it was nice to come away. And it was just nice to know, you know what, I can still play the game. Yeah. I am still pretty good on my day. You know what I mean? Because, getting older, I don't think the really, really amazing matches come out as much. But, I'm still learning a lot about myself. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy learning about myself and the game.
Are you still motivated, Mark?
Yeah. I think I'm at the stage where I did sort of think a couple of weeks ago when I was down to number 60, I was thinking, am I going to fall off the tour? And that's the honest truth. Me and my wife had a conversation and I said to her, look, if I fall off the tour, I don't think I'm going to go to Q School. I don't think I want to. And we had that conversation and then like a week later, we're in the semi-final and everything's hunky-dory again.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of them things where I'm motivated because when I work hard, I play some really good stuff. And I think, well, do you know what? If I really keep working hard, I might actually get better and start, and improve it a bit more, improve my game.
Yeah. Were you in a bad place? You won the Northern Irelands Open. Yeah. Something was telling me you were in a bad place before you won that tournament.
Oh, it was mad. Right? It was absolutely madness because I was playing my pal. My pal owns a club in Clacton, AD Snooker Club, great club. And I was going down there and we was playing like 1st to 9. And don't get me wrong, Alex can play, but he was an amateur. And I'm like, whatever in the world, he's beating me 9-2, 9-3, 9-4. Yeah, literally, I'm going home with the sorest arse in the world. Got my bum smacked 3 or 4 days on the trot. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't think I've got it anymore. I can't pot a ball. And then literally went there. I played the Brazilian guy first match, Igor Figueiredo. I beat him 4-1. And then my tip split. I had a few second-hand tips in my case. I stuck one on. I played Liang Wenbo the next match. He was in the top 16. And I beat him. I beat him 5. I think I beat him 4-2 or 4-3. And that was it. I just literally... Another match went by. And I was like, literally, I was on like $6,000, and I was going, oh, love, I'm on $6,000 here. Like, we're not out of trouble, but my God, we can survive a little bit. Yeah. Then I won another game, and then I was like in the final. I was like, my God, I'm on like 30 grand. Like, we're back. Like, I was back flipping, and I said, you got to come over, and like, and literally on probably the worst time I felt in a long time, and then I ended up winning it. It was a bit like last week. I was thinking about maybe should I give up and what else am I going to do? And then I'll go and have a really good week. Madness.
I remember watching that final against Barry. Barry was 5-1 up, and then you won the next 6. He went 7-5 up. But there was a frame you should never have won, I think, and I think the black was over the pocket, and you need a snooker, and you were rolling the pink.
Oh, mate, the 8-7 up. I was 20 behind with the pink left, and the black was over the black hole. It was like hanging. And once it was hanging over the hole, I thought, do you know what? There's a real small chance. And when I talk small, I'm like 1 in 1,000. Yeah. And it just happened that 1 in 1,000 shot happened that night. And I ended up losing it on a respotted black. But funny you should say that, because when I was 5-1 down, I actually had to have a word with myself, because I said to myself, like, going to the table 5-1, I went, well, maybe you should start trying what you think Barry's. I know it's really weird, and this is on my kid's life. You know, Barry ain't just going to give it to you. Barry wants to win this as much as you do. So you better start pulling your finger out. And lucky enough, you know, I just really started playing some real great snooker. And obviously Barry made a couple of mistakes. Should have really been 6-2. I came out 5-3, and I was on fire. I was like, my God, I'm 5-3 down. And then obviously won the next 4 frames, and I'm going to the interval 7-5 up, thinking, my God, I can win this.
Yeah.
And like, and all of a sudden I'm going, the old tookers started going, and the adrenaline started pumping. A few twitchy frames, but just nice to have that one night where it was me. I was the winner.
And to have your family there celebrating with you, that must have been really special.
Mate, it just my whole life of a snooker player, obviously since having children and obviously a wife, that's the be all and end all.
Yeah.
And I can remember, I think Selby won the Masters once. And when he won the Masters, I was sitting in the front room and I was watching it, and his wife was there. My wife looked round the corner and she went to me, is that ever going to happen to us? And honestly, it was like my heart was broken. I was like, I really, I do want this. I want this. And, just to have that one memory just once and to always go back to it. And even when I still cry now when I watch it. Hold it, the dog's got to come in. Sorry. Come boys. Didn't realise they were outside.
What are they called, Mark?
I've got 3 dogs. I've got 2 miniature schnauzers. One's Gus and one's Max, and then I've got a sausage dog called Doug. Yeah, they're brilliant. They're like the 3 amigos. They all sit on the armchair, look out the window, and a fart walks by and they bark. You know what I mean? Anything that walks by, rah, 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 rah. But they're great guard dogs. If you was asleep and someone tried to get in, they'd wake the whole neighbourhood up. Lovely dogs. But just having that one night of being the champion and everyone being there was just you just can't describe it, because it was just absolutely out of this world.
And I'm sure everybody on tour must have been delighted for you as well, because you seem like a really popular guy on tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things where, listen, I wear my heart on my sleeve. What you see is what you get. If you don't like it, don't really care. That's your problem. And it was just nice. So many players coming up to me after, well done, so pleased for you. And obviously more pleased for my dad, because obviously my dad's 88. My dad's been around the world and back, at the snooker. He drove Ken around for 10 years before he was with me. And it was just nice for him. It was just nice for him to see his son achieving his dream and him being a part of it. Yeah. That's the main thing, because listen, as they get older, you think, is he ever going to see it?
Yeah.
Am I ever going to, do I want to win a tournament after he's passed? And it was just nice for him to see it. And then I'm not sure if you see the BBC one where me and my dad was in the studio, and Hazel was asking, Mark did well and blah, blah, blah. And he couldn't string a sentence together. He was just like tearful all the time. He just couldn't string a sentence together, and it was just beautiful. It was just amazing to
Just so proud.
Yeah, that's it. It was just he couldn't get a sentence out, because he was just filled with pride and tears.
It's amazing.
It was an amazing, and it's like lovely just to think that I've made him, not only made my dreams come true, but I've made his come true as well, which is you can't buy that. That's just priceless.
Fantastic.
And that's a difference, isn't it? As a sports star or something like that, someone who's achieved in something with that profile. I mean, my dad will never come to my office and go, "You've done really well, lad."
Yeah, I know, but it's only just horses for courses, isn't it? Just because I'm on the TV, it makes no difference. You know what I mean? You're really good at what you do. Just because I'm on the telly, that's the only reason. If I was just at the snooker club, then no one would really care, would they, really? Because it'd just be the snooker club players.
Yeah.
It's like the footballers, isn't it? The footballers are on the telly, and they get astronomical amounts of money, and they could play absolute crap, still get paid.
Yeah.
Managers don't win a game and get £8 million payoff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hello, is that Barry Earn? Yeah, Bal. I ain't won a game yet this season. Can I have me compensation pack, please? Just be like £500,000 for the season, and I'll go and play something else. Do you know what I mean? It's ludicrous. Get sacked, then go and get another job, get sacked, get another job, get sacked. Just get paid off. It's just unbelievable. I should have been a footballer.
Did you play any other sports as a kid?
Yeah, I played football. I was quite good at football. I weren't that tall, but I was like a terrier.
Yeah.
If we ever played against some big kids, the manager always says to me, "You just mark him," and I just used to take him out. I was a bit like a little bit like a Roy Keane, if you like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit like a Roy Keane, but I loved playing football. I loved it as a young boy, and it was either snooker or football. When I was about 10 or 11, when I used to live in Romford, Ray Parlour used to play for a team called Romford Royals.
Okay.
And they had a scout there, and he kept knocking on my door to come and play for him. Ray was a year older than me, and he said, "I'll come over because I want you to, trial for this team and all that." But weren't interested. I just wanted to play snooker. I was at Romford. The training ground was at Rush Green, and I just wanted to go to the Romford Snooker Club. I loved it. It was, it was just my passion. Loved playing snooker. I loved all the, the dive. The gangsters up there, the thieves, and it was just full of absolute wrong-uns. But it was such a great club. It was just, it's the best club I've ever been in. Just for atmosphere and fruit machines being played, sticking their fist through the fruit. It's like £100 jackpot, and he's put like 600 quid in it. You know what I mean? And then do £200 on the new glass. Unbelievable place.
There must have been some great players in that club as well. In Romford?
Not really. No, there weren't really, because Steve played next door. Because when the Luciana was there, Steve popped in to the Lucania a couple of times and practiced, but most of the time it was at the match room, which was next door. They had 3 private tables. It was a private place. A really nice club. You had like Nicky Larris. He was like he won the Pot Black on telly. He beat Steve Davis in the final, but they was practice partners. But yeah, you had a lot of decent players, but they was all sort of playing around like the Barking area rather than Romford. Romford was just your old piss hole, if you like. It was just a real dump, and fags on the floor and spit and sawdust. But as I said, it was an amazing club, and you just don't get clubs like that anymore. And it was amazing.
And who did you watch growing up? As you were kind of getting.
Who do you think? Go on, guess. Who do you think?
Steve.
No. Come on, you got to do this, surely.
Jimmy.
No. Go on, keep going.
I don't know.
You ain't done you. It's got to be Alex, isn't it? Alex Higgins.
Oh, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously Steve was the best, but Alex was like didn't know what he was going to get up to. And I remember I used to sit on my dad's lap watching the finals, and I used to hate Davis because he was good. He was too good. And I always wanted Alex to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, just sitting on my dad's lap, just watching the snooker all the time, because my dad's always loved snooker. He ran the snooker club in Romford when he was a youngster. I think it was called the Regal in like the 60s or something. And he said the same. It was just full of wrong-uns. But yeah, I used to love watching Alex and Steve, and your Cliff Fulburns, and just the old school players. And obviously the Nugget was the business then, but he never really had the players in depth that we've got now. You know what I mean? Yeah. You look at the World Championship, and then you look at the 2 halves of the draw. You'll have like Ronnie at the top, Trump at the bottom, and then you have like Murphy, Higgins. I don't know if I've said Trump, Robertson. So you could look at it and you wouldn't be able to tell who would get through, would you? Because there's so many great players in that 16. Where the old days, you know, injury used to go, yeah, I've got him, and him. And he used to ring Mandy up and go, oh, like, bring me suit down because I'm not playing anyone until the semis. And that's honest, and that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
The old school weren't nowhere near as good as this school. Yeah, the old players in them days probably wouldn't even be on tour now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because the players nowadays are just a lot better.
Mm.
And that's not being rude.
No, and you're getting players in the lower ranks. Kind of, it's not even as big a shock now, is it? When they're beating some of the higher ranked players, it's not.
No,
you know, Jordan Brown wins a title. It wasn't. It was a surprise, I guess, but it wasn't a massive shock, was it?
No. In all fairness, he beat me on the way. I think he beat me in the last 16. And you know when like the writing's a little bit on the wall, because like when I won my title, a couple of things happened, and you're like, oh, how's he missed that? And you know, people just missing game ball, and I had a couple of game balls against him and rattled a couple. And then obviously Selby had the black over the middle and missed it in the last 8. And it was just one of them things. It was his week, and what a lovely guy. What a really, really lovely guy. And obviously to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final, it was an amazing achievement. You know, the best player ever to pick a queue up, your first final. And in all fairness, most people were thinking he was gonna be at the whipping station. You know what I mean? 9-2, 9-3, and he ended up winning it. So, you know, good luck to him. And that'll happen again. The strength in depth, it will happen again. You'll have a week where someone will just fly off their tits and absolutely, you know, just beat everyone.
Yeah, I suppose if somebody can just bring it together for 1 week, that's all it takes, really.
Yeah, you look at, I think it was the British Open. Mark Williams beat Gary Wilson in the final. And then you had like Elliot Slessor in the semi-final, who's another really, really good player.
Yeah.
And who had a good week. Be quiet, dogs, please. I'm on an interview. Do you know what I mean? And that's what can happen. People can have a good week and just get their arm flowing and then just, you know, show the whole world what they can do. Because a lot of the lower ranked players are really, really good players, but most people are not going to see them play until they reach the final stages. Oh, God. Honestly, my nose has never, ever been this itchy in all my life. God, honestly, people think, oh, my God, he's out of his face. He's been sniffing gear before that. Honestly. I'm on antibiotics. I wonder if it's that. Antibiotics ain't the cause you're having an itchy nose. It means you're going to have a surprise, isn't it, itchy nose?
I think it's a fight.
Oh, great, brilliant. I'm going to get headbutted in my sleep. Brilliant. Can't wait. I'm going to sleep like that, one eye open.
You mentioned earlier about, you know, kind of confidence and almost about how you've done well after you've almost given up on it, or whether that's about pressure or expectation. But we've had, I mean, we've got managed to get through to you because we've had Noel Flannery. We've had him on the podcast.
Noel. Do you know what? Noel's a really nice guy. Noel contacted me about 2.5 years ago, and he said he's really interested in getting into snooker. And like, I was privileged enough that he actually picked me first. And I thought, do you know what? I'll hear this guy out. And he drove all the way down from Scotland. Yeah. And we had a good old chat. And he said, like, this is what I think you should do, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, in 2.5 years, we've learned a lot about myself, my snooker. And, you know, he's just a revelation. He's just such a nice guy, knows what he's talking about. And sometimes, you know, I could say something and then he'll say something and I'll think, oh, what's he talking about? And this ain't being rude. I'll be totally honest with you. And I go, what's he talking about? And then I'll think about it and then I go, yeah, he's right. And he, and the good thing about Noel is where he wasn't into snooker, he didn't really understand certain aspects of it. So them things I've had to teach him. Yeah. But he just taught me so much about myself. As in, like, you know, just thinking the right things all the time. And don't get me wrong, it don't happen all the time where you're like all smelling the roses and, oh, this game's amazing and I'm not going to miss the ball. And I still have them thoughts where I'm going, oh my God, I don't fancy biting this. And you've got to have a fight with yourself. But he has got me into the stage where I know I've got to tick every box to get to the tournament. If there's a box that hasn't been ticked, then I'm not 100% focused, and that's what happened last week. Everything was excuse me, everything was done properly. We had a couple of little hiccups in the couple of matches before. I was having real bad trouble sleeping. We managed to cure that, touch wood. So everything was ticked. So we was in a good place. So it didn't matter what happened that last week. We knew that everything was done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, stay there. I'm just carry on. I'm just going to get a drink while we're talking.
I mean, Noel was fascinating. We spoke to him on the podcast, and then I spoke to him 5 minutes when we stopped the recording. And I'm fascinated with the mental side of the game, and I really got something out of what Noel was saying, and I felt by the end that I should send him a check because I got that much out of our conversation. It was on the button. Yeah.
It's literally, it's mind blowing, isn't it? It's actually mind blowing when you think about, when you explain to someone about how you think and how this is what you should do, and then he says, right, no, like, let's try this. And and he's all over. He's not one of these that goes, right, Sergeant Major, you got to do this, step forward and blah, blah. We can have a real deep conversation and we'll get to the bottom of it. Like I came away from playing Neil, and a couple of times I didn't feel very comfortable with myself. So now we've had a good chat about it and we move on. And we go, right, do you know what? When that happens next time, we do X, Y, and Z. Do you know what I mean? Instead of thinking the negative stuff again, we think X, Y, and Z, and then we deal with it and move on. And that's the whole point of him being with me being with him. He learns all stuff about me, and then when we're in a bad place, we can just get out of it. Oh, excuse me.
Did you manage to take any sort of lessons away from your match with Neil? Together?
I really, I was really proud of myself because I weren't nowhere near my best, and I was a couple of shots away from being one frame away from the final. So there's a few little things that I need to work on. I'm not going to tell you that, but there's a couple of little things that I need to work on, and if we can improve on what we need to work on, then we're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, brilliant.
He said to us, didn't he? He didn't tell us much detail, and I think he was obviously not giving away the trade secrets, but it sounds like he has a combination of obviously about like the positive aspects and about your preparation, your diet, all sorts of things about your life, but also kind of looking at data off the table as well and kind of thinking.
That's something that he's brought to the table over the last sort of 6 months, and I've never really looked into it, and he's quite a, would you say, a statistician? Is that it? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. All that stats crap and the percentages, and how many times you should comb your hair over, and all that quite boring stuff. But in the scheme of things, it is really interesting because if you can get the percentages up on the things you're not good at, all the things that take care of themselves are really good things you are good at, then you're going to be dangerous. And that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to the things that the percentages were low against Neil. If we can improve on them percentages in my next games, then we're going to be a hard team to beat.
I was checking. I was doing a wee bit of homework, Mark, for this interview, and I was looking on Q Tracker and I was looking at your results through the years and stuff, and I was struck with how many close games you've had over the years. Your 5-4s, 4-3s, 10-9s. You've had so many close games over the years.
Yeah. I don't like beating people easy, you see, so I try and make them get close. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? My dad's always said that. He goes, effing hell. He went, can't you just win like 9-4 or something? Why has it always got to be 9-8, 10-9 or 5-4? Bloody hell, you're going to give me a heart attack. Bless him. Yeah, but no, even my brother-in-law goes, oh my God, typical you. He said, why can't you just win like 4-1 or something? You always got to win like 4-3 on the pink. and put our ticker through it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of them things. I suppose I just can't do anything be simple, can I? Have to do it the hard way.
On Twitter. I mean, I know you've had a look at some of the questions people put forward on Twitter when they knew you were coming on, and I mean, one of our colleagues, the Spanish, Ashley Sancho, she is always contacting us about lots of things and views. And she mentioned the bananas. She wanted to mention the bananas when you're at the side there. And I don't know if that's, again, a bit about energy and something to do with the preparation.
Yeah, it's just when you're involved in any sort of sport, you see the tennis players, they'll have a little bit nibble of a banana. They'll do their energy drinks. I know it's more of a bit more running around than going around the snooker table. But the main thing is not at any time to be hungry or fatigued. So the whole point of that and the serene bars is so you're not fatigued at any time, so you're not tired. So listen, if you're there at midnight, I know I'm going to be okay because I've got everything that I need. Now, other players wouldn't eat anything. So if there's no way someone's going to eat 5 to 7 before their game. So let's just say 6 o'clock is when they eat. So and then if you have a break and they say have a banana at, say, 8:30, if we're still there at midnight, they're going to be mentally drained or mentally tired. So what we're trying to do is at any stage, we're not going to be mentally drained. We're not going to be tired. And we're going to be fully hydrated the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's the idea behind it. So I don't want to give our trade secrets away, but I think I just have.
And I suppose, I don't know if you feel like this, but it seems quite, I mean, Lee plays a bit. So Lee has experience. He's just come back from Portugal the other week. And, you say about kind of differences between players and non-players. I mean, I'm the non-player who's just a big fan, but one of the things that strikes me is how isolating it seems. You're out there, it's just you.
Sorry, my earpods have just gone and I can't really hear you that well. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold it, let's try and see if I can turn you up a little bit. Go on, can you speak?
Yeah, can you hear us now?
I can't really hear you that well. Stay there. Let me just put these on charge for 5 minutes. Oh, God. Goody. Oh, these don't last that long, these AirPods, do they? Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my big booyakas out. 1 second. Yeah. My big Dre beats are going to come out for action. Get these bad boys. 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, that's the business.
Yeah, that's the ones. I've normally got some of them on.
Yeah. Hey. That's the business.
Stay there.
So for anyone listening on the podcast, we're just having a gear change to get the headphones on.
We could put this in the bloopers.
Yeah, we could put this in the bloopers, or we could keep it in. Let's see how we go with it. We might get some golden material here.
Yeah, see, that's better. Thank you. Sorry about that.
All good. No, no worries.
It's better, Mark.
Yeah.
We're just saying going back there about, it seems from the outside for me, it looks like quite an isolated sport. So is there a little bit about Noel being in your corner, kind of, that kind of mate on the side and somebody's on your side but closely with you?
Yeah, I've got my friend Colin, who comes with me everywhere, every day. He's at the club picking balls out. So I've got Colin, and obviously Noel is just another part of that team. And it's great. Listen, it's great to have someone to get up and then go and have breakfast with and have a chat. It's great for someone, when you're feeling not so good, you need a little pick me up or you need a chat. Yeah, it's really nice to have someone there, because when you're on your own, especially during the COVID, we was at Milton Keynes a lot of the time. and you was on your own, and you couldn't really talk to any other players. You couldn't go out for meals with other players just in case if they got COVID. You was out of the tournament, so it was literally me, myself, and I. So it's a great thing to have other people with you and just having some sort of team. Judd's always got his brother. Kyron's always got his brother with him. It's just have a nice bit of conversation with someone.
And it's funny because me and Lee know each other because of kind of connecting through the Snooker 19 PlayStation game.
Okay.
I wondered what, because I wondered what you thought. Have you looked at it at all? Because obviously your likeness is in there, isn't it?
Do I look like me or not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, Lee. What makes me laugh is there's one of the screens that comes up on one of the menus, and it's got you, and it's Jack Lazowski and Judd Trump, isn't it, Lee? Can you remember this one?
That's right. And one of the boxes, it's got a picture.
And you've got your arms around him. You look a little bit like you got them in a bear hug or something.
Oh, that was at the awards one year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Bless them. Kids, eh? Bless them.
So who's coming through then, Mark? Who can you see coming through that you think's got quite an exciting future from what you've seen around the circuit?
There's a few. I mean, funny enough, guy I'm playing in the next couple of weeks, Jackson Page, playing in first round of the UK. He's an up and coming prospect. He's been around a little while, but like when I was a kid, myself, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and a few other players come through. The strength in depth in youngsters was unbelievable, and now there just don't seem to be that many. But I think it's probably down to the PlayStation games, and the kids are more likely to stay in and play Fortnite or Grand Theft Auto than going up the snooker club and having a few games of snooker.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever going to be like it was. But I think I can't even think of the players coming through. I mean, obviously he must be one. The guy I played in the English, Peter DeVille, whatever his name is. Is it Peter DeVille?
It's Paul.
Paul DeVille.
Yeah.
Before we played, I'd never actually seen him hit a ball ever. So, which is quite mad. But no, he had a really good week. And he seemed a really nice young lad. But he just needs to have a little bit more about him. A little bit like, come on. And, some people walk around the table like they own it.
Yeah.
And he walks around the table a little bit like a pussycat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being mean to him. If I was in his corner, I'd ask him to get a little bit more, not angry, but come on, and and a bit of a bit of banging the table when he's won a game on the black, and just a little bit of spunky about him. But there's I can't see that many new blood coming through, to be honest with you. It's not like the old days, and it's such a shame.
Obviously, look at the Chinese players, and I think one of the guys that's going to do really well is Zhao Xingtong. I think he's a great talent. Yeah,
but he's been around forever.
Yeah, he's quite young, is he not?
I know it's really mad. He's probably about 21, 22, and he's been around like 8 years.
Wow.
It's mad. Honestly, it's mad. I don't know how old he is, but he has been around forever. And he is one hell of a player. To be fair, when you said about the new players, I didn't even have a thought about the Chinese players. But they will overtake the game in 20, 30 years' time. 90% of the tour will be Chinese.
Yeah.
Because that academy at Sheffield, I think Victoria's got one. And I think then there's another one, Ding's Academy. I think there's probably 15 of them. You got, if I can think, you got Ding, you've got Bing Tao, Ching Peng Fei. Oh my God. Have I said Xingtong 4. Then you've got Bing Yu, Sung Ji. Yeah. There's got to be 15, 20 players that are all either just got on the tour or, Yu Long, he's another one. There's loads of them. There's loads of them that are really, really good players. And Lee Han, God, Looning. I'm sorry, I'm just spilling them out, but I'm just thinking of them as I'm going. Yeah, there's got to be 15, 20 of them that could all win a tournament.
Yeah, and of course they're heavy practicers, aren't they? They really practice hard.
Yeah, they're really good on their phones. Yeah, no, they really put the hours in, because I think where they've got really nothing else to do. Do you know what I mean? You know, if they was in China, they'd go and do their practice and then they'd go home to their parents or their wives and family, like I would. So I suppose all they've got is their friends, their fellow pros, and probably just go up the club all day and then go for something to eat.
You've mentioned Ronnie a couple of times, and I know when we looked on the Twitter, there was somebody was making a thing of, they thought there was a fallout or a rivalry or something, and I think you mentioned that the thing with you is you just don't, you don't kind of kiss his bum or whatever. There's something around. There's a feeling.
Yeah, listen. I've known Ronnie nearly all my snooker career. When I first started going to a club in Ilford in Leigh Street, I think I was 12 or 11, and I think Ronnie was 9 or 10. And I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, Ronnie O'Sullivan plays up," and I didn't know who he was. He said, "Oh, he's got loads of money," and it was all about how much money he's got. Like, fair enough, got nothing against people with money, and people just tend to not be able to just stick their tongue up his arse the whole time, and Ronnie this and Ronnie that, even before he was a professional. And I've never been one of them people. I've been one of them people, what you see is what you get. That's it. And, we've just never really clicked. We've never really got on. We had such an amazing rivalry as juniors. And I think that's what brought me on as a player, just having rivalry with other juniors, wanting to beat them so bad and then wanting to beat me so bad. And it's always been the same as pros. He's beat me lots of times and I've beat him a few times. But he's still the greatest player I've ever seen. But as soon as he opens his mouth, it's just verbal diarrhea. And it's just, I just don't understand. I know he does it because he's clever. And he does come out with some stuff that I do agree with. But lots of the time, it's just all about making the papers, making people talk about him. And I think I was talking to someone today about it. I said, like, Liang Wenbo made a 147 in the English Open about 4 years ago, which is a massive achievement. And all everyone could talk about was Ronnie O'Sullivan in his ASIC trainers. It's just like, but it's one of them things where he's the cream of the crop. And when he says something, everyone listens. And I just don't like it because people like Federer, Djokovic, McIlroy, Tiger Woods, you don't ever hear them talking about their peers like he does. They've always got respect. That McIlroy might think number 50 in the world's a shit golfer, but he'd never say it in front of people. He might think it to himself. He might think, he's a crap chipper, or he can't putt, or he can't. He's no good off the tee. Or someone like Federer might think the same, but they'll go, do you know what a player, good luck to him, and he's played really well this week. They're all so complimentary about each other. They all want everyone to do well, and they're like, they're all like good mates, and whether that's just a screen over it, they might hate each other a bit. But outside looking in, they look like they've just got respect for each other as peers, and I just don't think he has. I think the only person he thinks is any good is Higgins. And the only reason he thinks Higgins is really good is because Higgins don't care about playing him. And he's battered him loads of times, and he's probably given him the most hurtful defeats that he's had, like in the Masters that time when he was 60 odd behind and cleared up and won on the black to beat him in the last frame. Things like that will scar Ronnie forever. And like, Higgins is the best. And Higgins is a fantastic player, but Ronnie, when he's on it, he's just unplayable. And as I said, as a player, I'll hold my hands up and say, I love watching him play. I love watching him play, but just when he goes on about the really silly things, it just does my head in. I'll just turn it off, if I'm honest. Once he comes on and starts talking, the mute button goes straight on. And that's just honest.
I mean, really, Ronnie's the biggest ambassador snooker's got. And I think, if the kids are watching Ronnie saying what he's saying, I think they're going to feel that's okay. And he's an ambassador for the sport. So I think he sort of falls short of that role.
Yeah, I think that's why he's always fell short of the sports personality of the year. I think because of some of the things that he's turned around and said, like people like Tyson Fury. And I'll be honest with you, when he first come on the scene, I thought he was absolutely crap.
Yeah.
He was on Channel 4 and ITV and Channel 5 boxing. And I thought, this geezer is absolute toilet. Well, let me tell you something. He's one of the greatest boxers I've ever seen. And what a man as well. What a man.
Yeah.
No disrespect. A lot of travelling people have got really bad press. Lots of them have. But I'll tell you what, he has got my utmost respect. He's done everything he can to help the homeless. And he's such a stand-up guy. And he always says, I don't need to earn all this money because I'm a lad from Morecambe and I don't need a lot. And all he wants is his family. And I think he's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is a proper role model for someone who's a young boxer looking up to someone.
Yeah.
Who go, I want to be him. I want to be that guy. Humble as anything. Got more money than lots of people. But he's the most humble person you'll ever see and meet in your life. And that is such a great characteristic to have in someone who can have anything they want.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable guy.
Yeah, here. Yeah. And you can miss that sometimes, can't you? Because of his persona and the Batman stuff and all of that. You miss the fact that actually he's a proper talented guy, isn't he? But he has also got a big heart on him as well.
Massive heart. I mean, who gives £8 million away to homeless people?
Yeah.
All these footballers that like literally have got so much money they couldn't burn it quick enough. But you don't see them giving it away. Don't get me wrong, you see a few of the big boys giving money to charities and all that, and probably a lot of them are silent. So, I might be totally wrong, but some of them that are earning silly money could help a lot of people out, but they don't. But they, that's why I think Tyson Fury is, a great ambassador for anyone.
And I'm curious, really, Mark, how you get on with Twitter. I'm thinking of Twitter in particular because you said earlier about the crowd tutting and almost thinking they can do better. I mean, Twitter's terrible for that, isn't it? Twitter just having a pop at people who.
Do you know what? As well, it's always people that you can never see their faces. They're always behind keyboard warriors, as they call them, and it's always like. Oh, years ago, I used to get so angry with it. I used to come out with really hurtful stuff. I remember losing to Luca Breckel in the UK Championship when I was 3-0 up. Anyway, I lost 6-3 in the end. And the geezer put on there something like, I hope you and your family will die of cancer. And
what?
And just the worst thing that you could ever put. And I wanted to find this geezer and rip him a new limb.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you think like all it basically is people that gamble on the sport, that have lost their money, and just take it like a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm playing for thousands of pounds, and he's had his £100 accumulator, and I've let him down for 600. What does he think I want to lose?
Yeah.
I'm playing for thousands of pounds. He's playing for a poxy bet.
Yeah.
Like. Come on, mate. And in the end, you just either delete yourself from it or you just rise from it. So what I normally do is if someone puts something like, oh, you're crap, don't know why you play, don't know why you don't retire, and I'll either ignore it, I'll just put, yeah, you're correct, mate, absolutely correct.
Yeah. Take the wind out of the sails.
They can't put nothing because you've absolutely obliterated them.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, I know, mate, I should retire. See you later.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where you just have to decide what you want to be. Do you want to be the one that gets angry about it? Or do you just want to go, do you know what, these people ain't worth dripping to my arsehole? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, there was you talked about football and boxing tonight. There was Curtis. Can you remember this one? It was Curtis Woodhouse. And we might have talked about this before. But I don't know if it was when he was at Sheffield United. It was somewhere like that. But he got a slating off one fan and he went round and found him where he lived. Do you remember that?
Yeah, didn't he clamp him or something? Or just he knocked at his door?
Yeah, he knocked at his door.
Do you want to say it to my face or something?
Yeah.
The geezer went, absolutely crapped himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, this is what you have to deal with. And all it basically is, it'll either be a fan that absolutely loves his snooker or football that just can't take losing. Yeah. And he's got to blame someone. Or it'll be a bet. 9 times out of 10, it will be a bet.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've seen a few people on like Facebook and a few other players. I think Mark Joyce was one, Elliot Slessor was another, where they'd lost the match and then someone had put on Facebook or Twitter, "Oh, why don't you give up Usus, CUNT?" And you know, and it's just not nice. Okay. It's just not nice. So, and that's why some players actually come off social media because of that sort of stuff. Because it's all negative crap. It is really negative. Instead of going, do you know what? Unlucky. I know you didn't play your best, but we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just get the negative stuff, and it's just not nice.
Yeah. And it's weird, isn't it? Because gambling's such a massive issue, but at the same time, it's so big around sport. I mean, sports sponsorship with gambling, it's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't really see it anymore because I still go to GA all the time.
Yeah.
I sort of, it just goes over my head now. When an advert's on, I don't really take any notice of them. But since like the roulette machines have come in and every sport you watch, an advert comes on, every single advert, and it normally 2 or 3 adverts of gambling for a break. So it's one of them things you just have to deal with it, and it's just the way of the world. That's why they're all billionaires, and that's why you got so many, you know, people that are really skint and you know having a hard time, you know, with gambling.
Yeah. Well, kind of before what we normally do is we do a bit of a quick fire round at the end. But just before that, I mean, what's your aim this season? I mean, the obvious question, it's an obvious answer, isn't it? Try and win some ranking events, try and get as high as you can, stay on the tour. But you know, where is it that, or
to be honest with you, the main objective at the start of the season was just to make sure that I'm well in from going off the tour. I don't want to be around, you know, the 50s or 60s when the World Championships is coming around and fighting for my place. I want to cement my place beforehand and just really, you know, just keep doing what I'm doing, keep working hard, having all the boxes ticked before the tournaments and going there thinking, do you know what? Whatever's written on the wall is written on the wall because I've done all my work. I've done all my homework. No stone's going to be unturned because it's all been done. And that's one thing that Noel's taught me that I'm really grateful for, that, you know, there's a few things that you don't think need to be done and they do need to be done. And that's a real good thing about the ticking the boxes. So yeah, probably listen, I'd love to win another tournament, but the main aim this season for me is just to basically cement myself onto the tour for another couple of years. At least.
Yeah, brilliant. If you'd indulge us, Mark, we've just got a little quick fire. We call it clearing the colours, so we do it in the order of the yellow onwards, and just ask some quick questions if you don't mind.
Okay.
So the first one, who do you, in your experience, in your opinion, who do you think's the funniest player on the tour?
Oh, the funniest? Oh, Matthew Selt.
Oh, you're not the first one to say that.
Yeah, Matthew Selt. Yeah, he's like Marmite. You either like him or you don't, but he's real quick fire character. But yeah, Selby's quite funny actually. Selby can be quite funny. But yeah, probably Selty.
Well, this is a green ball question, Mark. You've sort of answered this earlier on, and the question was, what's your favourite venue away from the Crucible? But you've already said the Tempodrome.
Yeah, Tempodrome is, my God, when when that place is rocking, Saturday and Sunday of the final, like the final semis, it is unbelievable place. You'd have to seriously, the pair of you'll have to go there one year, just for that semis and final day when it's packed out. There's just no atmosphere like it in snooker.
Any chance to a couple of passes, Mark?
Yeah, mate. If I'm there, you no problem. You get the flight and the taxi, and I'll get your tickets. No problem whatsoever.
Thanks, mate.
They got nice beer out there as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah, they do a nice. They've got like a hot dog stand out the front, but it's obviously like their German sausage, and they are unbelievable. Not like a hot dog, like your normal one, like the Savoy sort of thing. Oh, mate, it's just so tasty. Bit like a Cumberland, but obviously their version, really tasty.
Yeah, it's a bratwurst.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called. They're beautiful.
Yeah, mate, unbelievable. Because I don't mind a sausage with my breakfast, but one of them in the evening as you're going home with your little bit of ketchup on, that's to the inch. I like that.
Yeah, right. So that's the green. The brownies. We've touched a bit about emerging players, but this is slightly different. Who do you think the next player is going to win their first world title?
Their first world title?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a real good question. First world title. Oh, right. It's really me. I'm going to say me. All right.
There we go.
Put it out there. I'm going to say me.
On record. There we go.
There we go. Okay, blue ball question, Mark. If there was a film made about your life, which actor would get to play you?
Oh, it'd have to be Jason Statham, wouldn't it?
I thought you might say that.
Yeah. When people go to me, oh, you look like Jason Statham, I'm like, yeah, you're right, I look like him. Do you know what I mean?
He looks like you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Who's Jason Statham? Jason Statham looks like Martin King, doesn't he? That's what I was thinking. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But no, yeah, definitely be him.
Brilliant.
So that's the blue gone there, I think, Lee, isn't it? That was the blue ball. So we're nearly there. The pink one. So is there anything in you seem quite an open book? You've told us a lot, really, but is there anything interesting, personal facts that we might not know about you?
Oh God, like what?
What have we had? So we've had stuff like, I think Michael Holt, it was that he spoke Spanish. I think that was his one.
Nothing like that.
Neil Robertson, it was a kind of OCD tendencies, wasn't it? I think, Lee. Now what people have said.
OCD.
Jackson Page breeds fish. That was a good one.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a. Oh no, there's nothing. There's no stone that. No, there's nothing like that. I'm just literally just a normal bloke. Nothing that you think, oh, really? Do you do that?
Is there any stories behind any of your tattoos, Mark? Is there any kind of stories behind any of them that might be
No, do you know what? They're all about just my family and my life, really. There's nothing that's obviously this one on my wrist here, I don't think you can see it, but it's a W. And the W is like my wife's nickname. Okay. With our anniversary, and these two here are like two little cherubs. They like when I had my two children.
Yeah.
But everything's all about. There's a thing here that says "fault become things."
Okay, that's a good one.
That's something. Mind you, that's something I'm really into. Is mental preparation, meditation, and that sort of stuff. I'm really into. Thoughts become things, and I think you what's the word for it? Stuff that happens is you bring it on yourself.
Right. Like
you know what I mean? Yeah, not so much not just karma, but just like if some bad things happen sometimes, you normally bring it on yourself.
Right. Yeah.
To a certain extent. Unless you get run over, which ain't your fault. But yeah, I'm really into just that sort of meditation and Paul McKenna, sort of, trying to keep your mind. Have you ever seen The Secret?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Have you ever seen it? Have you, Lee?
I've never seen it, Mark. No.
Oh,
the laws of attraction and all that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you. The laws of attraction. I believe in all that sort of stuff. And something happened to me the other day, actually, and someone said something different about it. And I never ever thought this way until they said it. When you're on your way somewhere and someone's getting in your way, the lights are going red, and you're like, effing hell, for God's sake, I just want to get here, and you're steaming and you want to get somewhere. Someone said to me, do you know what? What you don't realise is them red lights, oh, you've gone. You're still there?
That's my battery, 10%.
All right. People say to me, that traffic light or that red light or that someone getting in your way could actually be someone saving your life. And it's real, and it was a real mad thing he said. And I thought, what are you talking about? And then when I actually thought about it, I thought, and then ever since then, if I'm ever trying to get somewhere and I'm in a bit of a hurry, I've totally changed the way I think now. I think, all right, that may be someone stopping me from getting a parking ticket or the flat tire. And it's really weird, but just something that someone said to me, and I was like, that is really good. Made me feel less angry.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's a bit like regret. I think that sounds a bit like regret. If you're happy with where you are in your life today, why would you regret anything? Because all the things that have happened before have got you to where you are today.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. People like when you go into a GA room and people are like, oh God, I wish I'd never done that, and I shouldn't have done that, and I wish I hadn't gambled, and blah 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 blah. And I always say, like, I even say to my wife when I talk about it to her sometimes that, I am the person I am now because of what's happened. I wouldn't never change any of it. Because that's it. That's just the way I am. Like at that time, I wanted to gamble more than anything else. And I was an absolute ice cream for it. And I was an idiot and all that sort of stuff. But now I've come away from it. And now I don't do them silly things. I like the person I am.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. You just got to, line in the sand. That was me then. And this is me now. Can't change nothing I've done before, but I can change the future.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Well, I'm going to take it that the pink was potted there, Lee. So I don't know if you want to move on with the black.
Yeah, this to clear the table, Mark.
Okay.
If you wrote an autobiography, what would you call it?
Oh my God, that is do you know a really funny thing you should say that, because when I was talking to my wife about maybe giving up and falling off the tour and all that, I was actually thinking of doing a book of my autobiography.
Yeah.
It'd be good to read.
And I was actually thinking about, I'd really like to do a film as well, because I'll tell you what, some of the things that have happened to me in my life is film worthy.
Yeah.
It's proper film. There's some obviously things that, I don't really want to talk about, but not so nice things. And there's some lots of really nice things, but just as a whole, a real good story about someone who's come from nothing, a council boy from Romford, that's, lived his dream and, has had some crap along the way like everyone else, but he's still surviving and still, doing some really good things. Yeah, that is a good question. Oh, what would it be called? I don't know. King for a Day.
King for a Day.
King for a Day. Perfect.
What we do rather cheekily is that we call our episode the name that you've just given for that question. So if you're happy with that, we'll call it King for a Day.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Yeah, King for a Day. Yeah. King for a Day.
I'd read it. If you're doing autobiography, I'd read it. And especially if you give us a little bit, what we could do a bit more is a bit more kind of behind the scenes stuff about what goes on around with the players and the tour and all the rest of it. We don't see a lot of that, really. Or isn't there much to tell?
To be honest with you, it's not. In the old days, people, I'm not saying people used to get up to stuff, but players would go out and they'd go night clubbing and get pissed and have a good time and all that. And obviously, when there was lots of gambling involved, people would be playing poker in the players' lounge and gambling and all that sort of stuff. But in all fairness, the last 4 or 5 years when Barry Earns come in, there is none of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because I'm not involved in it and I don't surround myself with gambling and that sort of stuff, so I don't want to get involved. But I don't think it happens anymore because, like, the players' lounge is pretty just like a players' lounge. People go in there, have a cup of coffee before their game, have a chit chat, then they go and play their matches. But yeah, it's not the. You used to have a lot of atmosphere, excuse me, and a lot of characters in the players' lounges in the old days, but behind the scenes, it's pretty dead. It's pretty like people just go in there, practice, go away.
Yeah.
They'll go out for something to eat, or there's not really a lot going on. So people will either, you know, they might sit in the players' lounge and watch the matches, that sort of stuff. But apart from that, it's really pretty, you know, quite normal, just boring, really. Just people getting on with their work.
Yeah,
I suppose
yeah.
it would be a good way to describe it. Yeah, it's not like the old days when obviously Alex was cut and, you know what I mean, out of his face and like causing all sorts of tantrums and that sort of stuff. And, you know, Bill Worthington was having his 27 pints for breakfast just to get away from the DTs and all that. Yeah, you know, Griffiths combing his hair for about 100 times and getting his quiff ready and all that. Them's and the Dracula and the Visor and it's just I don't think there's that many characters these days, you know. Not many people that are prepared to have a bit of a giggle. Yeah. And I feel like I'm still one of them players that I still think like I do have a laugh sometimes. I do, you know, try and have a giggle with the crowd and try and be a little bit like, you know, I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel as though I've still got that sort of, you know, humbling and have a giggle mentality still. And snooker's not the be all and end all to my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, look, Mark, I mean, I hope we keep seeing a lot more of you. You know, I think for us, we kind of seen you from afar and we've talked to Noel. So we had a bit of an inkling that you were a good fella to talk to. So just really grateful for the time that you've spent with us. And
mate, anytime. You know, if you anytime you need me to talk again, just give me a shout. No problem.
Brilliant.
That'd be great, wouldn't it, Lee? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks so much for your time, Mark. You seem like a really down-to-earth guy, and you've been really generous with your time, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
No problem. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Michael.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate.
All the best. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, I'll tell you what, before you go, Mark, I've had a last-minute thing. Just show everyone on YouTube your trophy, would you? Because they haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry if you're listening to this, you can't see it, but we're going to see it.
Wow, there it is.
Well, I don't know if you can properly see. Hold it. Let's try and just make sure it's a bit. If I go that way, oh no.
Oh,
that's too close, isn't it? That's why. Hang on.
So we've talked a lot about Alex Higgins at times. So this is the Alex Higgins trophy for anyone who can't see it.
Why can't I flipping do it? It's just me being a. Can you see that, Home Nation?
You can see yourself in it there, Lee. I can see you in it.
Myself in the trophy. There you go. There's you.
Yeah. If I go up.
Oh, look at
that. See that?
Lovely.
Beautiful.
2016 champion Mark King.
Yeah, boy, man's back. Then can you see the writing? Northern Ireland Open.
Yeah, Northern Ireland Open. Yeah, that's a cracker.
31 seasons hard slog.
Yeah, mate. That's a proper hard slog.
Well done, mate.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
Mark.
Take care. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, bye.